Hey everyone, so I was having trouble trying to decide what to cover this week, and then I came across this very interesting article on OnlySky. It's not from Hemant Mehta's blog, it's from Adam Lee's, I think. And it's kind of inspiring, yet kind of sad at the same time. It's written by a guest author by the name of James A. Haught, or Hout, I think it is. I hope I'm not butchering his name, because I have nothing but respect for the guy. And like I said, it's kind of sad yet inspirational at the same time. The article is about how he's a non believer and he's in his 90s now, and it's about his view on death, etc. And even though I'm a lot younger than the author, as a middle aged person going through something of an existential crisis myself lately, I still found it to be very poignant. And it's not that long of an article, so I'll probably read it in its entirety, and I hope you guys, get something out of it. So let's begin. So it starts, I'll be 91 in February. It may be my last birthday or one of the final few, because my actuarial table is ticking away relentlessly. I have no fear of death. It's simply the natural end of every life. It awaits all 8 billion of us humans. Nobody can escape it. For now, I'll just keep flailing away, writing as well as I can until it becomes impossible. We science-minded people are confident that no heaven or hell lurks hereafter. Every human personality is created by a brain, the most complex object in the universe. I'm simpatico with this man. I love him. But technically, who the hell knows what's out there in the universe? I mean, it's the most complex thing we know of so far, I guess. When the brain dies, it's logical that the personality does likewise. It's not plausible that it would travel out of the dead body and make a magical journey elsewhere. Literally hundreds of my friends and colleagues have slipped away. They're so numerous I keep a quote-unquote gone list on my computer to remember them all. I can't stay off the list much longer. Just before she died of ovarian cancer, one of my Unitarian friends, Marty Wilson, wrote, I often think of humankind as a long procession, whose beginning and end are out of sight. We, the living, have no control over when or where we enter the procession, or even how long we are part of it. But we do get to choose our marching companions, and we can all exercise some control over what direction the procession takes, what part we play, and how we play it. And then it continues, brilliant writer James Baldwin said in The Fire Next Time, life is tragic simply because the earth turns and the sun inexorably rises and sets, and one day for each of us the sun will go down for the last time. Perhaps the root of our trouble, the human trouble, is that we will sacrifice all the beauty of our lives, will imprison ourselves in totems, taboos, crosses, blood sacrifices, steeples, mosques, races, armies, flags, nations, in order to deny the fact of death, which is the only fact we have. That's very poignant. And then it continues, legendary lawyer Clarence Darrow wrote, and of course that's the lawyer of the Scopes monkey trial fame, right? Inherit the Wind. When we fully understand the brevity of life, its fleeting joys and unavoidable pains, when we accept the fact that all men and women are approaching an inevitable doom, the consciousness of it should make us more kindly and considerate of each other. This feeling should make men and women use their best efforts to help their fellow travelers on the road, to make the path brighter and easier for the wayfarers who must live a common life and die a common death. And for some reason that reminds me of a quote that always stuck with me from Marcus Aurelius's Meditations, or the Meditations. I'm paraphrasing, but it goes something like, Alexander and his stable boy are leveled in death. Kind of meaning that no matter who has the most toys or whatever, or no matter what your station is in life, at the end, death levels the playing field. We're all equal in death. But it continues, here's a reason I feel inner peace about my approaching end. Our secular humanist cause has won hundreds of victories during my 9 decades, and I have a wishful faith that it will continue to win after I'm gone. The movement surged 3 centuries ago with the Enlightenment, when radical thinkers challenged the divine right of kings and the stupid tyranny of the church. They trusted science. America's founders, mostly deists, transformed those ideas into the first modern secular democracy. Ever since, human rights, equality, and better life for everyone have climbed. Slavery was wiped out, women gained the right to vote, couples were allowed to use birth control, social security pensions were created for retirees, labor unions were allowed to organize, job protections of many sorts developed, gays first escaped prison, then were allowed to marry, stores were allowed to open on the Sabbath, blacks defeated segregation and won equal legal standing, Medicare and Medicaid brought medicine as a human right. Still have a long way to go there. Religious indoctrination was banned from public schools. Still fighting that one, kinda, etc., etc. Secular humanists fought for all this progress. Now, in this 21st century, supernatural Christianity is collapsing rapidly in educated Western democracies. Intelligent people no longer swallow it. I have hopeful confidence that the struggle to help humanity and wipe out fairy tales will keep on winning without me. Final frustration. Existentialism says we are doomed to live our entire lives and die without knowing why we are here or why the universe is here. Today, in these super scientific times, we still don't know, and I'll never know. And I think that's something we all wrestle with, what the meaning of life is. That's one of the fundamental existential questions people have been asking since, time immemorial. I think for me, on a good day, the meaning, and maybe this has something to do with how, despite being a non-believer, I almost have kind of pseudo-mystical leanings, or a kind of poetic way of looking at things, including the cosmos and our place in it. And I kind of think that, living in the present, as corny as it might sound, to quote Joseph Campbell, kind of follow your bliss, your passions, try to enjoy life while you have it, to kind of revel in the mystery of it all. And I say that, and it's easy to say, and that's why I added the caveat of on a good day. Like I said, to be real, I've been going through an existential crisis, and, there's times when my outlook gets darker. And I kind of feel that existential dread creeping in when you do ask yourself, what is the point of it all? All the suffering, the fleeting, transient nature of it, and it's something we all have to wrestle with. But yeah, in the dark times, I try to hold on to the knowledge, though, that I know these negative ruts I get into are also fleeting, and that the light at the end of the tunnel will hopefully make itself present again, and I'll enter a more positive stage. But yeah, when you find yourself staring into the abyss, sometimes it can be tough to pull your gaze away again. A little nod to Nietzsche there. Nietzsche, tomato, tomato. But yeah, I really liked that article, and I think the thing I found the most inspirational about it, not to be condescending, is that it was such a well-worded and eloquent article written by someone, who is about to turn 91. And I think a lot of us are afraid of getting older. We're afraid of how we might deteriorate once we reach advanced age. So to see someone who's in their 90s and still has their wits about them, still can write a brilliant article. It's inspiring. And when I encounter stuff like that, it kind of makes me a little less afraid of getting old, And as I mentioned in a recent bonus episode, even if you disagree with their politics, say there's people out there, public intellectuals or whatever, like Bernie Sanders and Noam Chomsky, who are really up there, but they're still sharp as can be, and they're still insightful. They still have a mastery of language. And someone like Bernie Sanders still really has a fire in the belly. So yeah, I find that kind of thing inspirational. And I think I also mentioned Sir Roger Penrose, who, even if you don't agree on all of his points, who I believe is a mathematician and maybe a physicist, and he's in his 90s and he's just still absolutely brilliant. He speaks with the intelligence and eloquence of a college professor in their prime. So I love stuff like that. But I hope you guys got something out of this episode or that article. And all right, until next time.